Hey, are you okay?
Shoo, there's someone in the bed next to me.
I'm sorry.
It's a woman in the next bed. That's why the curtain is closed.
A woman and a man in the same room?
I'm just here temporarily. They're preparing a bed in a private room for me, so I'll be moving soon.
I see. But I should at least say hello.
Stop it. I'll be leaving this room soon. Besides, I heard her snoring earlier. It's not nice to wake her up if she's sleeping.
I received a call from the hospital that there was an accident, and I rushed to the hospital. Although my husband had broken both legs, he was not in critical condition, so I was relieved. However, my husband seems to be very concerned about the bed next to him.
Don't open the curtain next to me. I told you to stop.
When I opened the curtain against my husband's stop, there was a surprising person there. I suspected my husband's affair, but the evidence collection was still insufficient. At that time, I ran into his mistress.
I have evidence.
A savior appeared there. This was also a surprising person for me. I am Olivia. I am 32 years old and work part-time at a supermarket. My husband Michael is 3 years older than me and works as a systems engineer. He often goes to clients' offices for work and is frequently away on business trips. Thanks to his hard work, our life is stable and we have had a smooth married life without any trouble such as marital disputes or mother-in-law problem. However, I have one complaint. Since my husband is always working, I have been wanting to have children but haven't had the opportunity. It has already been 3 years since we got married. However, my husband is just working hard, so I cannot express my dissatisfaction at home. Therefore, whenever I finish work, I go to the supermarket's back room and talk with Sophia, who is my junior colleague, about my complaints. I know he's tired, but I'm already 32. I want my husband to be a little more anxious.
But your husband is a systems engineer, right? I don't know the details, but isn't it a representative example of a busy job? If you ask him to do more, he'll get angry, won't he?
I won't tell my husband. That's why I'm saying it here instead. Sophia understands that I don't really have any complaints against my husband. Therefore, she listens to my complaints with a smile. This makes it hard to tell who is the senior and who is the junior. As Sophia said, my husband's job is quite busy, with frequent business trips and late returns home. Recently, he has been particularly busy and comes home with a zombie-like gait. Even if he hasn't finished his work, he has to leave the office because it's the last train. I waited for him today, sitting on the sofa in the living room, watching the second hand of the clock on the wall. Welcome home. I'll prepare dinner right away.
I'm home. I always tell you not to wait for me, right? If you just prepare the food, I'll warm it up and eat it myself.
It's hard to warm up food or tidy up clothes when you're so exhausted. I'm just waiting for you, so don't worry about it. Come on, take a shower first. My husband headed to the bathroom as usual, with a zombie-like gait. I was worried if he could make it to the bathroom safely, so I felt a little relieved when I heard the sound of the bathroom door closing. I'm worried about my husband's health if this continues. However, according to my husband, the deadline will be over soon and his work will calm down a bit. Is there anything I can do for my husband who is working so hard? I decided to consult with Sophia about this.
Huh? Is it something that men would be happy to receive when their work calms down? Are you asking me, a single woman with no boyfriend?
Sophia answered with a slightly dissatisfied tone while taking off her work apron with her usual smile.
Come to think of it, your husband said he was interested in camping, right? You were complaining here that you didn't want to go because you were afraid of bugs.
Oh, come to think of it, I turned down my husband because I didn't want to go.
How about going camping with your husband? Camping in nature might help relieve the stress from work, don't you think?
But, both my husband and I are amateurs, so we might get tired instead.
In that case, can I bring my sister and go with you? She likes camping and goes there often with her boyfriend. I also wanted to go there once, and if I bring my sister, she can be helpful. Isn't that good?
I looked up slightly and imagined my husband sitting leisurely in nature. This might not be a bad idea. Sounds good. I'll ask my husband about it. That night, I immediately suggested camping to my husband. Hey, your work will calm down soon, right? Why don't we go camping that you wanted to go to? My colleague's sister loves camping and will give us various lectures. My husband looked up slightly and stopped his knife and fork.
Oh, that might be good.
I think my husband imagined the same scene as me. We decided to go camping in 2 weeks. Until then, my husband and I prepared various camping equipment such as tents, sleeping bags, tables, and fireplaces.
Hey, look at this. You can make river and lake water drinkable with a small water purifier.
We're going camping, not survival. When my husband returned home from work, he lay down on the sofa and started searching for camping equipment on his mobile phone. At the preparation stage, my husband already seemed to be having fun. I thought it was good to suggest camping while watching my husband frolic like a child. However, this camping trip became the beginning of the end of our marriage. On the day of the camping trip, we packed our camping gear into the car and left home with my husband driving. We met with Sophia at the parking lot of the supermarket where I work.
Good morning. Nice to meet you, I'm Sophia.
Nice to meet you. I'm Michael. Thanks for taking care of Olivia.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for taking care of my sister. I'm Mia.
I'm looking forward to spending time with you. We exchanged greetings. When we arrived at the supermarket, Sophia and Mia had already arrived and were waiting for us. My husband met both of them for the first time, and I also met Mia for the first time. Mia is 3 years younger than Sophia, who is 28 years old, so she should be 25 years old. However, she looks a little mature and could be mistaken for an older sister. Let's hurry up and finish shopping and leave. After we finished our greetings, we entered the store to buy ingredients.
I believe you have brought a cooler, but if you are only making pasta or something, it is convenient to use this jarred minced meat that can be stored at room temperature without buying meat.
Oh, really? If it weren't for Mia, I would have bought a lot of meat.
Mia put the ingredients in the basket with a practiced hand. As my husband said, we didn't know what kind of food was suitable for camping, so we were saved. However, I was a little worried that Mia was talking only to my husband. After finishing shopping, we headed to the campsite in our respective cars. When we arrived at the campsite, we first set up the tent. Mia finished setting up their tent quickly next to us, but my husband and I, who were setting up a tent for the first time, were struggling with it, arguing a little bit about how to do it. Mia, who was watching us, spoke to us.
This is a 2-room tent, right? You bought a big one. It's hard to set up. I'll help you.
Thank you. If only I had consulted you about what camping gear to buy.
If you continue camping from now on, please ask me anything. Oh, Olivia, can I set up the tent? Can you help Sophia prepare lunch?
Huh? Oh, yes. I went to Sophia's side, who was spreading the ingredients we had just bought on the table next to me, with a slightly sulky face. Embarrassingly, Sophia seemed to have seen my slightly dissatisfied expression.
I'm sorry. Mia is excited. I was interested in camping too, so Mia wanted to take me camping, but there are many dangers in camping with only women. But I'm also hesitant to join Mia and her boyfriend. That's why I couldn't come easily.
I don't care about anything. It's okay.
Even if you lie, it's obvious. You're easy to understand, Olivia. My sister is just not shy, so there is no strange intention. Please rest assured.
I see. Mia is the type who gets along with anyone right away.
Yes, that's right. Although she is just getting along with people, men often misunderstand her, which is troublesome. From my point of view, it's a problem that I envy.
Sophia, who always listens to my complaints, knows everything about me and can see through me. I cut vegetables with a slightly red face. After that, Sophia may have warned her sister, and Mia stopped talking to my husband proactively. Sophia also intervened to make sure Mia didn't get too close to my husband. I feel sorry for causing them unnecessary trouble. However, my husband's heart seems to have been refreshed quite a bit by this overnight camping trip.
I'm home. Hey, can I buy this fishing rod?
Again? How many is that?
Maybe the fourth one. Please, this is the last one.
My husband showed me a picture of a fishing rod on his mobile phone with a childlike, innocent expression as soon as he returned home from work. My husband got hooked on fishing during the camping trip. He was so hooked that he would go out alone in his car from early in the morning on holidays and not come back until night. There is no trace of the zombie-like appearance he had before. It's good that my husband was refreshed and energized by camping, but now I have one more complaint. My husband got hooked on fishing after that, and now he goes fishing alone on holidays.
Why don't you go with him?
No, fishing is a bit. I heard about the bait, so it's a bit. As usual, I took off my apron in the supermarket's back room and complained to Sophia. However, there is a slightly different part to this complaint. If he has the energy to go out alone until night, I want him to spend more time with me.
This time, you seem to be more dissatisfied than usual.
I am more dissatisfied this time. And please tell Mia to be careful too.
Yes, I understand.
The reason why I am dissatisfied with my husband's fishing is not just because he goes out alone on holidays. Mia seems to be knowledgeable about fishing, and my husband contacted her to ask about fishing. This is not because I peeked at my husband's mobile phone. When my husband showed me a picture of fishing gear, a message from Mia came in. I was angry about this, too. My husband was in contact with Mia.
Is that something to get so angry about? Mia is your colleague's sister and has a boyfriend, you know?
No wife would feel good if her husband was secretly contacting another woman, no matter who it is. You said you were going fishing alone, but maybe you were with Mia?
That's not the case. Come on, give me a break.
My husband looked at me with a serious expression when I suspected him of having an affair. His expression looks honest, and he clearly claims that he is not having an affair. If someone who doesn't know him saw him, they might think that my husband is angry with me for misunderstanding him. However, I know. This is the expression he makes when he is hiding something. I started collecting evidence of his affair. Welcome back. Did you catch anything today?
No, not at all. Only a small one. I'm still a beginner.
You've been fishing for about 3 months, right? That's normal. You must be tired. I'll take care of the luggage, so take a shower.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
When my husband returned from fishing, he asked me to clean up. Since he asked me, it is necessary to check if anything he brought is missing or broken. While my husband was taking a shower, I checked the contents of his bag and toolbox, and the inside of the car without hesitation. Even if I say that I will collect evidence of his affair, as an ordinary housewife, I can only do this much. I sometimes hear about people hiring private investigators to investigate affairs, but the investigation costs thousands of dollars. If the investigation period becomes longer and the evidence is not found, it can easily exceed $7,000. Moreover, even if you pay a large amount of money, you may not be able to find evidence and throw away your money. Even if you collect evidence by requesting an investigation, the compensation for adultery is not so high. For a general housewife like me, hiring a private investigator is not a realistic option. I rummaged through my husband's bag with a little pathetic feeling. The next day, after my husband went to work, I lined up the loot on the living room table and looked for evidence of his affair. I'm still worried about the receipt. It's strange that there are 2 set meals when there should be only 1 person, right? This receipt was something I picked up as garbage from the car. I investigated the store written on the receipt and further strengthened my suspicion of my husband's affair. This place is not a place where you can fish at all, is it? It's just in the middle of the city, isn't it? It is possible that he moved to the fishing spot after eating, but the time on the receipt is afternoon. Even if he comes home late, does he have enough time to move and fish from noon? Looking back, I don't think the fishing gear was that dirty. I thought it was because he didn't fish, but it's still strange. Although it is not conclusive, the more I think about it, the more I feel that the possibility of my husband's affair is increasing. I felt angry and crumpled the receipt without thinking. I regained my composure in an instant and hurriedly smoothed out the wrinkles with the receipt, which could be important evidence. My husband may be having an affair.
What? Your husband?
I surprised Sophia by suddenly mentioning the word affair in the supermarket's back room. I cannot say that I am suspecting her sister as the affair partner since there is no evidence. However, Sophia seems to be worried about me. Don't look like that. There is no conclusive evidence yet. It's just a woman's intuition, you know?
I was surprised. It's not confirmed yet that your husband is having an affair. If that's the case, shouldn't you just wait and see? If you suspect without evidence, you will become the bad guy, Olivia.
That's right. I guess I have to wait and see for a while. Sophia breathed a sigh of relief when she learned that the affair was not confirmed. Even after consulting with Sophia, there is little that an ordinary housewife like me can do, and it seems that I can only wait and see. However, if I keep waiting and doing nothing, the situation will only get worse. But a few days later, the situation I was worried about began to move.
I'm going on a business trip next week.
How many days this time?
I'll be back in 3 days.
My husband goes on business trips frequently, so we are used to this kind of exchange. I am so used to it that I don't even ask where he is going anymore, I just confirm the day he will return. The following week, my husband went on a business trip as usual. The only difference was that he left by car. However, when the destination of the business trip is nearby, he sometimes uses a car, so it's not a big deal. After seeing my husband off, I headed to the supermarket because I had a part-time job. Is Sophia not working today? I wanted to complain to her, but it seems that Sophia is off today. The next day. Is Sophia not working today too? Days without anyone to listen to my complaints continue, and my heart is getting more and more frustrated. As I was redoing price tags I had labeled incorrectly, an employee came to inform me that there was a phone call for me. They called the store, so it must be an urgent call. However, I have no idea what kind of urgent call it could be, so I calmly headed to the back of the store where the phone was. Hello? What can I do for you? What? My husband? However, I was shocked to hear the truth over the phone, and I raised my voice despite the employee being next to me. The phone call was from a hospital, and it was about my husband who had been transported there after having an accident and breaking both legs. After hearing the news, I was stunned and put down the phone weakly. My head was confused, and I stood still in front of the phone. After about 10 seconds, I regained my composure a little and was able to move. I immediately went home, took my husband's luggage, and headed to the hospital where the phone call was made. I'm a little worried about the location of the hospital, but going to see my husband is the top priority now. Hey. Are you okay? As soon as I entered the hospital room, I raised my voice again.
Oh, sorry. I messed up.
My husband had casts on both legs and was lying in bed. He was driving too fast and made a mistake in the steering, and he crashed into a street tree with considerable force. It's a terrible situation, but I felt a little relieved when I saw my husband waving his hand apologetically with a sorry expression.
Be quiet. There's someone else in the next bed.
I'm sorry. My husband's room is a double room with another bed next to it. However, the curtain is closed around the bed, so I can't see inside.
It's a woman next door. That's why the curtain is closed.
A woman and a man in the same room?
We're only here temporarily. They're preparing a private room, so I'll move soon.
I see. But at least I should say hello.
Stop it. I'll leave this room soon. Besides, I heard her snoring earlier. It's not nice to disturb her if she's sleeping, right?
My husband is looking at me with a serious expression. I ignored my husband's words and put my hand on the curtain of the bed next to us, as I felt he was lying.
Don't open the curtain next door. I told you to stop.
My husband tried to stop me, but he couldn't move his legs as he wanted, so he twisted his body and desperately reached out to me with his hand. However, his hand did not reach me and cut through the air. Seeing my husband's reaction, I thought it was even more suspicious and opened the curtain with a sharp movement. I expected that my husband's mistress was next door from his reaction, but surprisingly, it was Sophia who had casts on both legs like my husband. I was speechless because I had mistakenly assumed that her sister was the mistress. I was frozen while looking at Sophia's face, but I tried to think hard in my head. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I had been made a fool of by Sophia all along. I will never forgive these two. While I was stuck in my thoughts, Sophia took the initiative.
I'm sorry. I invited Michael.
The hospital where we are is near the beach town, and my husband had an accident near a tourist spot. My husband said he was on a business trip, but I can't believe he was working in a place like this. Even if he did, it's too unnatural for him to be with Sophia. In any case, it seems that my husband and Sophia are having an affair and caused a traffic accident while driving. Sophia apologized first to lower my anger. I thought so, but it seems to be different.
I wanted to go to the beach for a long time. But I casually said that I didn't have anyone to go with, and your husband said he would take me. See, your husband is kind, isn't he?
Yeah. We exchanged contact information during the camping trip, and we only exchanged messages like Mia. This is the first time we went out together, and there's nothing suspicious about it.
It's a pretty tough excuse. Both of them seem to know that, and they desperately move everything except their legs and explain to me with gestures. It seems like they think they can get away with it if they can come up with some excuse. Their attitude only fuels my anger, and my muscles tense up. What do you mean this is the first time? You've gone out together before, haven't you? I picked up a receipt in the car. Why did you order 2 meals at the diner when you were supposed to be alone? You were going on a date and driving around, weren't you?
Receipt? Yeah, I was hungry, so I ate too. It was a little too much, but I could finish it.
So even if you say you haven't gone out together before, it's strange this time, isn't it? Why did you lie to me about going on a business trip and come here with Sophia? It's obviously an affair trip, isn't it?
I'm sorry for coming to the beach with Sophia without telling you. But you got angry because I contacted Mia, right? So you won't allow me to go on a trip with Sophia, right?
Of course. Who would allow that?
I was selfish and asked your husband to take me there. Your husband is kind, so I thought he wouldn't refuse, and I took advantage of that. So, it's my fault.
That's right. You say it's an affair trip, but I'm just friends with Sophia. We haven't done anything wrong. If you insist that we're having an affair, then show us decisive evidence.
It's clear that my husband and Sophia are having an affair. In this situation, some people would admit to having an affair. However, my husband and Sophia continue to make excuses on the spot, and it seems that they can escape. My husband asks me to provide evidence of the affair, but I don't have any decisive evidence. If I had a little more time, I might have been able to do something, but I was suddenly called from the hospital and faced my husband's mistress. I have no weapons at hand. My husband and Sophia seem to be convinced of their victory and are happy with each other through eye contact. Seeing that, I grit my teeth in frustration. When my heart was about to break and I had no choice but to back down, a savior appeared in the hospital room.
I have evidence.
The 3 of us looked at the entrance to the hospital room at the same time. There, Mia was standing, showing us a mobile phone with a completely dark screen.
What are you doing here?
If I got a call from the hospital, it's natural to come, right? Olivia, if there's evidence of adultery, it's in this mobile phone, so don't worry.
What? Evidence? Wait. Show us too.
My husband and Sophia, who couldn't move from the bed, were left alone, and I was shown the evidence first. This is amazing. It's decisive evidence. The mobile phone recorded my husband entering Sophia's apartment. The next footage was of my husband leaving Sophia's apartment. The video shows my husband hugging and kissing Sophia as she sees him off. You were coming in and out of her place.
What? We were being filmed.
There were nights when you stayed over. I have footage of that too.
So, it wasn't just this time, but several business trips over the past few months were lies.
Coming in and out of an apartment throughout the night can be considered evidence of adultery, just like entering and leaving a hotel. Since the video shows them passionately kissing and hugging, I think this is also evidence of adultery. I heard a little outside the hospital room earlier, but if you combine it with receipts and your husband's lies, it will surely become stronger evidence.
How did you know the days I was coming in and out of Sophia's place?
You always go fishing on Sundays, right? You always come back around the same time, right? You told me in a message, you know. It was easy to guess when you were going in and out of her place. And when you stayed over, Sophia took a day off work, right? I was in touch with her and asked about her work, so I could guess the right time. Olivia, I'll give you this video, so use it as you like.
I was handed a USB drive from Mia. She is a hero to me and seems to shine brightly. But why did you do all this for me?
Your husband hit on me during the camping trip. After that, when I tried to avoid him, he started hitting on my sister. At first, I thought he wouldn't have an affair, but since the day of the camping trip, Sophia has been acting strange, so I investigated.
It seems that Mia investigated the relationship between my husband and Sophia because she was suspicious of them. However, after she obtained evidence, she was apparently hesitant to show me the evidence. If she gave me evidence of the affair, it would definitely lead to a divorce. Mia did nothing wrong, and there was no need to worry about anything, but it's not a good feeling to break up someone else's marriage. I think it's natural to hesitate because no one likes to stick their nose into other people's troubles. Therefore, she hoped that my husband and Sophia would realize that they were wrong, even though it was unlikely. However, after receiving a call from the hospital and expecting that my husband and Sophia had gone on an affair trip, Mia apparently couldn't stand it anymore and decided to give me the evidence.
I'm sorry. I should have shown you this video earlier.
What are you talking about? You did nothing wrong, Mia. To be honest, I even suspected you.
No, I did things on my own without telling the truth, so I think there were misunderstandings.
Holding hands with Mia put my husband and Sophia in a hopeless situation. I glared at them with hatred, as if they were the ones who killed my parents. With evidence of the affair in hand, it seemed that they could no longer make excuses, and they became quiet. Are you okay with proceeding with a divorce?
Yeah.
You don't think you can get away with just doing this, do you?
I know.
Shall we go home?
I'll drive you since I have a car.
Thank you. That would be helpful. Mia and I left the hospital, leaving my husband and Sophia behind, unable to move from the bed. The divorce proceedings went smoothly after my husband and Sophia admitted to their affair, and I demanded compensation from both of them. As for whether my ex-husband and Sophia got together after our divorce, they did not. When Mia told their parents about what had happened, they were furious and cut ties with Sophia. Additionally, Sophia's affair with my ex-husband became known at work, and she found it difficult to continue working there. She had no choice but to quit her job. It wasn't because I spread the word about their affair at work. I reported my divorce to the store manager. At that time, I honestly told him the reason for the divorce because there was no need to hide it. Strangely, the information spread throughout the workplace from employees to part-timers without me spreading it myself. It seems that if you tell one person, it's enough to spread this kind of story. It was Sophia's fault that she lost her family and job. However, she went into hysterics and broke up with my ex-husband, who had become unmanageable, saying it was his fault. She lost her family and job because she had an affair with my ex-husband. Although my ex-husband has a job, I am no longer there to support him when he becomes like a zombie. He looked really miserable when he became one, so I expect he will just collapse the next time he becomes one. However, whether he becomes a zombie or collapses, it's no longer my concern since I divorced him. After the divorce, I left home and continued working at the supermarket. However, I am now a full-time employee, not a part-time employee. I was promoted from part-time to full-time through the part-time and job sharing program because of my years of service and certain level of skills. Although I was encouraged to become a full-time employee before, I remained a part-time employee to support my ex-husband. Since I have separated from him, there is no reason to refuse to become a full-time employee. Although the job has become more difficult as a full-time employee, I can secure my income and live without any problems. I made a promise to Mia to go to a cafe tomorrow since I have the day off from work. I'm excited as I proceed with the store closing procedures.
How was this story? Please subscribe to the channel as well. I'll see you in the next video.